I'm putting my channel at risk, but I don't care. I'm here to tell the truth, all right? They don't like me talking about this, but I'm going to tell the truth. This Judeo-Christian thing is a complete myth. It's an oxymoron. And this is really a problem with Protestants, because Orthodox Catholic don't really have this problem. But us Protestants, we have this weird fixation on Israel and Judeo-Christian, okay? Now, this is specifically biblical and religious, okay? This is not anti-Semitic, all right? Keeping it clean here, YouTube. So, the reason why it's an oxymoron is very simple. Think about it like this, okay? Me, a Christian, and then a Jew is here, right? And someone that follows Judaism. And, his little hat. Now, do I have a hat? Here. A little hat on, right? And then, the little things on the sides. And then me, the Christian, is like, I worship Jesus. Jesus is the Son of God. I love Jesus. Yeshua. Spit. I hate that guy. They don't like Jesus. Remember who was the one that got the people that got Jesus crucified? It was the Sanhedrin, right? Now, realize Orthodox Judaism, I know there's a lot of branches, but in general, like the rabbinical Judaism, follows the Talmud and all those other things, they stem from the same line as the Sanhedrin, right? It's a continuing line. So the same mindsets, the same type of people that ended up crucifying Jesus are now the ones that are in charge of this, in charge of Judaism. The same mindset. Now the reason why I'm bringing this up is because they're trying to say Judeo-Christian. Christian and Judaism is like the same thing, but it's like a continuation, like, all in the same boat. No, they aren't. No, we aren't. Okay? And I'm not saying hate them. I'm not saying any of those things. You remember YouTube. I got to be careful on YouTube. But, bro, like, we're not in the same boat. And this is, to give you an analogy, so I'm not a suck up to anybody, okay? I'm a Christian. I'm not going to suck up to Islam either, because a lot of Christians do that. They suck up to Islam. We're not going to suck up on Judaism. They're going to suck up on Islam. I'm not going to do either. Because guess what? Islamo-Christian doesn't even make sense either. Same problem as Judaism. And the thing is, and they try saying, well, Judaism is very similar to Christianity. Islam is far more similar to Christianity. It's far closer. Far, far closer. But no one's going to say Islamic Christian. That's stupid. Just like how Judeo-Christian's stupid. We're Christians. Don't throw in Judeo. All right, we're Christian. Judaism is Judaism is the Old Covenant. The Old Covenant was fulfilled. It's over. We have our Messiah. And the other thing is, we believe Jesus Christ was and is the Messiah, right? Jesus Christ came. The Messiah came already. They believe the Messiah is still coming. And you gotta be careful here. And this is why the Protestant obsession with Israel can be a bit dangerous. Because Israel's trying to set up, and you see Millet talking about Javier Millet. They want to bring in the new Messiah. Now, remember the end times prophecy, there's going to be an Antichrist. How crazy would it be if it was from the same, if the Antichrist was brought in from the same line of people, the same mindset of the people who crucified the real Messiah? Does that sound really far-fetched to you? And then, you have all these Protestants going to Israel, doing work for the people in Israel and all this other stuff. Then you see the rabbis in their life minders, stupid GOY. That's the word they use for the Gentiles, the people who aren't Jewish by race. And of course, it gets a bit, murky because, when you say Jewish, it's like, well, you're talking about race or you're talking about religion. And listen, this isn't a race issue. Christianity is not a race-based religion. You're black, you can become a Christian. You can be Jewish, you can become a Christian. All this other stuff. How do I say this? Read the Talmud. Read the Talmud. That's what I'll tell you, because I don't know if I can really say what I want to say here. Because the Talmud says pretty interesting things about that specific subject. Now, the way you should view Israel is you shouldn't look down on Israel necessarily. You shouldn't hate Israelites. You shouldn't hate Jewish people. You shouldn't hate Judaism. It's just the same as any other country. It's the same as, any other religion. Don't hate them. Love them. Okay? Tell them the truth here. All right? I'm trying, because I'm not just saying that so YouTube won't blow up this video, but I do genuinely believe that. Just like any other place. But at the same time, you also need to understand that these people are not necessarily God's people in some special sense, because that's how a lot of Protestants view it. It's like, the people of Israel, the Jewish people, those are God's people. It's like, well, are we God's people? Well, yeah, we are. Right, so we're all God's people. Yeah. Well, there's nothing special about them, right? The whole point, and you read the Bible, this is very obvious. The whole point of the new covenant, one of the main purposes of the new covenant was to open things up to everybody. Because before, remember, in the Old Testament it said, Israelites are not supposed to mix with other tribes. It was, in a lot of ways, a race-based religion. But with the coming of Jesus, it opened up to everybody. So there's no such thing as, a specific group being God's people. It's just, in one sense, everyone's God's people. In another sense, the people who accept God, who accept Jesus, are God's people. And by that criteria, a lot of people in Israel aren't. Because they reject Jesus. And you know what? It's really the leadership that's causing this. It's not necessarily the individual people, because I watch videos about, people spreading the gospel in Israel. A lot of these people don't have access to the material that would lead to them being a Christian. For example, I was watching this video about someone spreading the gospel to people in Israel, and he was using Isaiah 53. And it's important to use that because that's the Old Testament. It's in Hebrew. They understand it, right? It's in their realm. When they say, I've never read this, never been shown this, they actively hide things that directly lead. It makes it so obvious that Jesus is the Messiah. Like, you read Isaiah 53, written 700 years before Jesus. It's so obvious it's a prophecy of Jesus. Pierced for our iniquities, like a lamb led to slaughter, yet he didn't open his mouth. In no majesty we viewed him. It's talking about the Messiah. And if they don't have that, they don't have the rest of Isaiah. Born of a virgin. He'll be called Emmanuel, God with us. They hide these things from them. And that's why a lot of them aren't Christian. Because they think, well, they have the people, the leadership telling them, hey, the Messiah isn't here. Messiah's coming. Messiah's going to do this. Messiah's going to do that. Messiah already came. So, don't view Israel especially, treat it like any other country. If some other country was trying to get you to do things, would you do it for them? There's nothing particularly special about Israel. Now, of course, Israel, the land now, I'm not going to get into Israel-Gaza thing. That's out of the scope of this video. But the land now, Palestine, Israel, call it whatever you want. Okay, I have my own opinions on it, but that's not relevant. Specifically to the topic of this video, that land is where Jesus walked. So, yeah, it's important in one way, but at the same time, it doesn't mean we should do anything particularly special. I'll leave it at that. So, understanding this and becoming smarter in general, this is all part of a bigger movement, building back Christian men, all right? This movement is going to start an uprising. This movement is going to be about education. Uprising is not violent, by the way. I know some people, they're going to look at the video, they're going to look at what I'm talking about. They see uprising, like, oh my God, he's going to say he's going to kill all these people. Not going to make that joke on here. But seriously, it's an uprising, education, a peaceful uprising, okay, where we want to make Christianity, I'm not going to use that phrase, because I keep having to censor myself, but we want to build back Christian men. I'll leave it at that. If you want to join the movement, link in the description to the Discord. Go to my website, give me your email so I can send you newsletters, follow me on Instagram, like my post, my Instagram looks better, and subscribe to the channel for future uploads. Those are my call to actions. See you in the next one.